Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, getting ready to listen to Apple's announcements related to the next array of iPhone hardware, assumedly. We will also likely hear about the soon to be public version of iOS, the iteration known as iOS 11. And I am streaming this live to the patrons who support me on chrispirillo.com. I've been doing my best over the past little while to give them at least one unique perspective or bit of advice or discovery in the news, and pretty much gave these bits of advice to them alone. So if you're interested largely in my tech perspectives, you can head over to chrispirillo.com and support me that way. Quite honestly, it boiled down for me, not just being in a situation where there is a lot of the same stuff out there, but really I kind of got tired of giving away my advice and perspectives for free. So I'm very grateful for those who do have the faith and who have continued to support me on chrispirillo.com. I've had an open door policy in the sense that if those patrons want me to talk about something specific, they only need to ask the question. I have been having quite a busy morning as well. I don't know if you caught the gigantic news, but it's pretty much eclipsed everything that Apple is about to announce, and that is that J.J. Abrams is now set to write and direct episode 9. I have already recorded my hot take. I did that live for the public for free, so you can't whine that I don't do things for free anymore, because I do plenty of free things. In fact, it's my intention to make this particular live stream after it's live public for everybody to watch. But the Star Wars news, I'm sorry, has just completely taken the wind out of Apple's sails as far as I'm concerned. And that's, seems appropriate. Apple's news has already leaked, and quite honestly, if we are to go by any of the rumors that have been floating around in relation to the announcement of the new hardware, and specifically based upon my experience with the beta software of iOS 11, at least, this is an Apple announcement, and I gotta tell you, I'm far more interested in the Star Wars news for a lot of different reasons. One, these next iPhones you're going to hear about are going to be irrelevant within a year or two. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate. Let's say they're not irrelevant for another 5 years. The next Star Wars movie that we're talking about is going to be relevant forever. It's never going to lose value. In fact, it's only going to gain in value. Tech was designed to be replaced, and well, I don't want to prejudge, what we're about to see from Apple, but this is very trying. I have very little patience with Apple anymore, largely due to their complete lack of quality control in relation to software. They've really not done any better. If you want my hot take on iOS 11, it is slop on top of slop on top of slop, unoptimized, jank, half-assed design, if you would call it a design. They don't know what to stick to. If you were ever curious about what design by committee looks like, take a look at Apple. That's design by committee. Now, if they decide to unleash a $1,000 phone today, is it worth it? I doubt it. Will people want it? Sure, why not? But, yeah. I made a comment on Twitter, again, free content for everybody. I basically said, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, iOS died when Steve did. And it's the truth. And I know people are sick of hearing that because it's kind of hyperbolic, but honestly, iOS is a shadow of its former self. It's like iOS today, iOS 11, is like a poor imitation of what iOS used to be. It's like a cheap knockoff. And I'm not talking about the features. Features are across every platform, right? It's not about the features. Features are always going to change. I'm talking about the implementation. It's never the idea, it's the implementation. Technology is not a destination, it's an enabler. I wish more nerds would get this through their thick skull. And as far as I'm concerned, iOS and Android are exactly the same. You could argue, well, this is superior for this way and that way and this. This is what always kind of annoys me when people try to suggest, well, what you should do is switch. That's a horrible response that is completely uneducated. Like if you offer that to just about anybody, because as far as I'm concerned, if I could post an animated GIF in a live video, I would easily here, but I can't right now. But it's effectively the Jim Carrey GIF in the Ace Ventura Pet Detective, where he's basically struck with two spears, one in each leg, right? Ah! Ah! That's iOS and Android. Ah! 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 That's iOS and Android. So if anybody had any bets as to how long it would take before Chris Pirillo would yell in a live video about Apple, you had about 6 minutes in. Did anybody? What was the over/under on that? So I don't want to hear about Android. I don't. Because nowhere in this video is there a word that mentions Android that I can see. It's not the topic at hand. This is about Apple's efforts, and in my estimation, it's massive failings as far as software is concerned. I'm not talking about software that crashes. Yeah, sure, it's gotten better, but who cares if it looks like ass? And it doesn't run all that well either. And I've been testing. I've been beta testing. 9 iterations. Finally went to public beta, and it's no better. It's just so wonky and ill-conceived, and I'm sure the apologists will come out of the woodwork. Well, they'll fix it. People have been saying that since iOS 7. Oh, bless your hearts. You just don't get it, do you? It's okay. I am ready to go here. We've got about 3 minutes. I started this live stream 10 minutes before the event began, so that we could get the note out to patrons, because the software and the hardware that I use here for the live streaming setup, specifically from the desktop, is also kind of half-assed. My patience for poor hardware and software is like less than zero these days. So let's go ahead and pull this up. If you have never watched me before, then you have no idea that I tend to talk a lot. I'm not going to apologize for that, but I will be listening to the event as it's intended, the live stream on Apple's website, which was impossible to find. Like, of course, I go searching for it, and what we have is like a cavalcade, right? Google, allegedly a search engine helping you find what you are looking for, can't surface the one link that every blog is listed to. I had to go like 3 links deep to find the direct link to Apple's live event. Yeah, Google. Okay, I don't want to make this about Google. I don't, because those are completely different nightmares. Do you want these nightmares, or do you want these nightmares? Is it possible to live in a world without either? I ask you this. So you wonder why I'm more excited about Star Wars. I tell you what, I get a hell of a lot more engagement with my Star Wars community than the tech community. That is for sure. Even with those who aren't happy with the J.J. Abrams news. Star Wars Radar has been going like gangbusters. If you're not following Star Wars Radar and you are a Star Wars fan, I basically took over the account a couple of weeks ago. It's got 48,000 followers on Twitter. Now has a YouTube channel, also Instagram, Facebook, etc. Tons of Star Wars, like all the time. But I'm serious, like in all my years on Twitter or doing things in the community, I've never had a better experience with the subject matter than with the Star Wars Radar. So I put the links in the video description, or they should be, just in case that is far more fascinating to you, because it is to me. And I'm still waiting. It's like we're at 10 o'clock, but it says the live video is going to begin, but I'm hitting refresh and all I see is the Apple icon, so I don't know if it's going to be a minute late. Ah, no, it isn't. It's up. They started it like right on time. Okay, let's go ahead and go full screen. I'm going to go ahead and put on my cans. Oh, so this is just effectively behind the scenes there at Apple's new headquarters, the mothership, in the Steve Jobs Theater. How ironic. I'm serious. Apple's different. This isn't the Apple that I fell in love with. And now I'm completely disenfranchised. There's no, you can't argue, oh, there's a replacement or just use X. No. That's not how it works. Moreover, I'm one of the very few who actually tries to hold Apple's feet to the fire. Every other tech apologist, is going to scream that this is the best thing ever, whatever it is. That's not me. If you're looking for navel gazing, go somewhere else. Then again, you got to ask yourself, did I come here to listen to Chris's opinions, or did I come here to have him validate mine? I'm not here to validate your opinions. Not my job. Not my position. All I have is my integrity, right? If I don't tell you my truth, I'm not doing you a service. If I'm not being honest with you about what it is that I see, what it is that I feel, you couldn't trust me. You shouldn't trust me if I wasn't honest with you. You shouldn't trust anybody, which, by the way, is about 99% of the people who do tech. They're not to be trusted. They think everything is great. Oh, it's tech. It's awesome. That's not how it works. This is so painful. So they're saying, welcome to the Steve Jobs Theater. This is why it's painful, because this Apple is not, it's not in Jobs' image. The slop that I've seen in the software doesn't do his memory justice. If Apple just remembered where it came from, what Jobs did and why it worked, his attention to detail is gone. This actually angers me. It really does. They're playing on the emotional card, right? Which is fine. Honor his memory, but don't honor his memory by building a theater. Honor his memory by creating good software. They've lost the game. Apple gives out design awards every so often. They don't deserve one. I've been saying this for years, since iOS 7. And you know what? I'm not on Apple's payroll. I don't owe them any feedback. They're obviously not listening. No, I'm not wearing my Apple Watch. Cook takes the stage. Everybody seems happy, which is fine, the whole reality distortion field thing. Honor his memory by doing good. Create something worthy of his attention. iOS 11 ain't it. And I pray, and I'm not a praying guy, being agnostic, that whatever they roll out with this alleged design with the little bump at the top does not look half as bad as it seems to look at a distance. Without good software, good hardware is irrelevant. And the good hardware you're using today will be irrelevant in 3 years. There's a reason I don't have a lot of tech around me. I'm a minimalist when it comes to technology. Tea went down the wrong pipe. Not a day goes by that you don't think about him, Tim, really? Doesn't seem to be the case when it comes to your software ethos or lack thereof. Yeah, you could say the magic's gone. They're resting on their laurels. That's the problem. I'm not talking about features. The hardware is nothing without software, and the software, as far as I'm concerned, is a C- at best. So much slop. Throwing better hardware at crappy software still gives you a crappy experience. So this is he's placating. These are platitudes. It's an honorable position to take, Tim, but these are platitudes. They don't mean anything. They mean that you've got a job and security and that you're able to create products for other people, but create products that look good and work well. The problem is most of this industry focuses on what it looks like, not what it runs like. They ignore experience. I never have, and I never will. It's the reason I was never a gadget guy. Never. Because most of it's crap. Why? Because the software sucks. Now, if you want to listen to Tim talk about Steve and remember Steve, that's fine. But I'm sitting here telling you, they're not doing justice to his memory. And I don't think many people would say that. Because, you know, we shouldn't say that. We should honor Steve Jobs. Hey, honor his memory, man. Like, truly. And the software doesn't show it. What pulled me into Apple's ecosystem wasn't the hardware necessarily. It's never been about the hardware. Now it's designed by committee. I'm telling you, I look at one screen and the pixel alignment on elements is so incongruous. That's not honoring Steve Jobs' memory at all. Yeah, Steve's vision and passion live on at Apple Park. You sure about that, Tim? I beg to differ. Today and always we honor him. Again, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not challenging your convictions. I'm not challenging what you believe. I'm just saying, let your products speak for themselves. And they do. And they scream volumes. We're here to talk about incredible products. So now they're talking about what's happening in Florida and Texas and the southeastern United States. Hey, okay, that's fair. A lot of flooding. We got a lot of wildfires up here in the Pacific Northwest. And look at California. I don't want to get into the whole climate topic, but yeah, that's a completely different debate that a few people just want to ignore. Apple's talking about its efforts with philanthropy. So, you know, it was funny. I got tagged on a tweet the other day. There was someone who was looking to save animals in Florida, which is, I think it's a fine effort. And I'm like, I save animals every day. I went vegan. I'm a whole food plant-based guy. That's saving animals' lives. It's also, if you're looking to minimize your carbon footprint, go vegan. Like if you're driving an electric vehicle, you're like doing this much for climate change. You want to do more? Stop eating animals. So now they're humble bragging about their new headquarters, and you know they're basically inaugurating the Steve Jobs Theater. Something that you may get to at some point in the future. Something that you may want to go to at some point in the future. I mean, that looks nice. It's beautiful. It's a thing of art. That is worthy of Steve Jobs' memory. That is a piece of art. Their software used to be an art form. Now it's perfunctory. So you wonder why this feels perfunctory for me? Why should I, you know, throw myself into it when it's obvious that Apple's development teams are just phoning it in? Why? I don't owe them anything. Apple Park is designed to be seamless with nature. Brings the outside in. They put trees in the building. It's cool. Powered by 100% renewable energy. That's cool. They have one of the world's largest solar panel installations. The mothership. If they spent the same amount of time and effort and energy and put the same type of just any kind of effort into their platforms, the fit and finish of the platforms that's gone as they did their building, maybe I wouldn't feel so disenfranchised. That's the best word I can come up with. well outside of the RDF. The Apple Store has been more than selling. Really? You may want to tell your employees that. I don't know if y'all remember my I think it was the review or the reveal of the iPad Pro, the recent one. The employee that was dealing with me was trying to sell me on specs. I'm like, dude, specs are irrelevant. I don't care how fast the process. I don't care what processor it is. Does it work well? Does it work better? Yes or no? Is it a better experience? Yes or no? So they're talking about retail, by the way, which is not the news that anybody is necessarily as interested in as the new hardware. No, so he said, it's got the A10X processor that goes at 50 bajillion megaflops. That means what to me? Or the average consumer? Nothing. Specs are irrelevant, man. I feel like I know I've been saying it for years, but I have to say this every single time. Who cares what the benchmark is? A, it's synthetic. And B, it doesn't speak to a real world experience. What does that translate as? Don't sell me on features, sell me on benefits. That's like salesmanship 101. But the Apple employee, and it apparently wasn't the only one. Someone else tweeted me and said that this happened to them as well. It's laughable when someone tries to talk about specs and I have to pretend to be interested so as not to hurt their feelings. Now, see, this is they believe this is Angela up on stage saying that Apple's retail is one of Apple's biggest products. So they're revealing a new store design, which is fine. I have no problem with their stores. In fact, right now, the only reason I would go into an Apple store is they have the cardboard cut out specifically for the Star Wars app. So if you go into an Apple store right now, I've been trying to get a hold of one of these for myself, but I don't think Apple Store is going to be giving them away. They are largely going to be junked, but if you open up your Star Wars app, and if you don't have it installed, you should, you can open up the new feature right now called Find the Force. And what you can do with Find the Force is you point, this is AR, right? And I am a fan of AR. Really kind of excited to see what happens with AR Kit. But you basically point your camera or your lens towards a marker, and then an AR object will appear. The problem with AR right now, and this is what I'll be interested in finding out, is that a lot of these virtual objects kind of jump and jitter around, like they're not like precise. Like you ever look at AR? This is AR. That's AR. That's my version of AR, and then it comes back, and then it's that's AR to me. It's getting there. I'm interested. I'm excited. If VR was like that, man, no one would be interested. But AR, we can forgive it. So we'll see if Apple can improve on the AR experience. That's a benefit. That gets me excited. Not the specification, not the spec. Not AR Kit outright. It's what's done with it. Oh, Swift Playgrounds. I did want to talk about that. I got my Sphero R2D2. I unboxed this one and the BB9E live on the Star Wars Radar Periscope, and then posted to the Star Wars Radar YouTube channel. Dude, if you've learned nothing from me, if you'd rather, if you're one of those who waxes nostalgic and says, I missed the Chris who was happy, head over to Star Wars Radar. Star Wars, happiness, technology, mired in frustration. They're talking about their store ethos. That's they're showing a video now. That's one thing I did want to speak to, because I did have someone, bless his heart, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Ryan Pearson said, well, if you feel so angry about this and so frustrated, and with your perspectives on technology in the tech industry, why not switch to this? And I said, here's the problem. There's no set of equivalence when you're talking about one ecosystem versus another. You're talking about, again, ah, ah. But this is one place where Apple, I think, leads the pack, and I think would dissuade a lot of people really from taking a different turn with their personal choices. Which, by the way, it's all your personal choice. Like, I don't care what you use. You've chosen to use it for whatever reason. I don't necessarily care what you like, right? I mean, I care about you, but it's like you're gonna make those decisions for yourself, and you got to live with those decisions and the shortcomings that come with them. So you got to choose your shortcomings wisely. But Apple has stores. I mean, you can't walk into, as easily, to my knowledge, apart from maybe a kiosk in a mall somewhere, a Google store. Google doesn't even know what it's doing with devices, honestly. I know this video is not about Google. I'm going to rein myself in, but inevitably people are going to say, well, then why don't you? I'm like, because... They're still talking about their stores, by the way. Just so you know. I don't know. I've gone to the mall so many times, and didn't intentionally avoid the Apple store, but it's like nothing's pulling me in. That's for sure. Yeah, they're doing some neat stuff with the stores, but the Apple stores don't fool yourself. Despite the marketing sheen they're putting on it, they're designed to sell products. Because Apple ain't selling products, ain't making money. Ain't making money, ain't around. You're going to love this. So I did... Here we go. Actually, let me do this. Come on. There we go. Let me turn on night shift. See if I can get it. I was going to show you. This is just to show you the engagement I was talking about with Star Wars Radar. Here's what I tweeted earlier. Is that too bright? That may be too bright still. Yeah, it's a little too bright. I thought I dimmed it enough, but let's go a little further. So there's a Star Wars Radar tweet, right? That's it. But look at the engagement. I've never had that engagement with technology on Twitter or anywhere else. Anywhere. That's the Star Wars Radar Twitter account. You should follow it if you're a Star Wars fan. This is more exciting to me. So in case you can't read, I said, Apple, we have big news today. And then Star Wars, hold my beer. Because they pretty much, they just sucked the air out of the room. I'm not the only one who believes that. Okay, we're gonna get to the meat of this. I hope this doesn't take 2 hours. It feels like I'm just trudging through this, right? Tim's excited about retail. It's the best place to experience your new products. So let's get going on what we're going to launch today, beginning with Apple Watch, which is a big deal. If you work out, is solid, right? And I do wear it sometimes. The funny thing is that, Force Friday happened last weekend, right? I assume everyone participated. Got my Thrawn. In fact, at some point when we hit a lull, I'm probably going to unbox this Thrawn. So happy about this. But I forgot my Apple Watch at home, but I was like, not just working out. I mean, I was walking and power walking and everywhere. But I don't feel like I need to wear my Apple Watch, but I'm not someone who believes that exercise is the end-all be-all. I think it's complementary to a diet change, but that's the thing, is people buy these gadgets, these health gadgets, thinking, oh, I'm going to be more healthy, but they're not, right? They still make horrible, dietary choices, right? But they wear an Apple Watch, so they're healthy, but they go to the gym. It's kind of like buying a gym membership, and that's enough. That's not how it works. Buying exercise equipment, and that's enough. No, that's not how it works. If you don't complement what you're doing to enable a better lifestyle, it's just, you're wasting money. I'm not saying Apple Watch is a waste of money if you don't work out, but that's the market. The market is specifically those who are intent on exercising at this point. The only thing that will change that, in my estimation, is if and when Apple, and there's going on with rumors around research, specifically with an Apple Watch being able to monitor your actual heart health, not just your heart rate, but specifically problems that may be indicative to an infarction. So, and other heart-related problems, palpitations and what have you. That would be, in my estimation, a game changer. That would make an Apple Watch critical, if only because of heart disease being what it is, atherosclerosis. One of the reasons why I went vegan is specifically for the science that's been behind. If you want to effectively eliminate or reverse it, the one fantastic way to do it without going to prescription drugs is specifically a whole food plant-based lifestyle. Go vegan, or don't, and have health problems that you're inevitably going to have. You have high cholesterol, whole food plant-based. This is science, right? You're geeks or nerds. You should enjoy science and technology and its advancements. You don't need much. I'm telling you, man, go vegan. Or don't. It's up to you. I'm just saying. It's more than just saving the animals. It's actually saving you. If you think you can avoid the number one killer, go for it. I'm just saying, if you want to try to avoid it, make better choices. That does not include just buying better technology. It includes using technology as a benefit to you, not a spec, to potentially save your life. But it's just a part of a solution, right? It's a part of the thing. You don't just wear the technology and suddenly you're more amazing. You're not a superhero. It just doesn't work that way. You may think you're saving everything, by wearing a watch, but you can tell the time on anything. What's an Apple Watch going to do beyond that? And if you're looking at monitoring your data, I think it's a fantastic, still remains one of the better options out there. But I don't think it's where it could be before I would be absolutely fascinated with it. They're playing by the way, a compelling commercial here as upselling the Apple Watch. So, see, health is a big angle, but don't just stop with wearing technology or holding on to technology, right? Which is obviously a huge benefit. Go the extra mile. You believe in science and technology, use it to your advantage. Read if you want. Listen if you can. Watch, absolutely. The peer-reviewed research and studies over the decades as to why a whole food plant-based lifestyle will do you better for health than an Apple Watch. It's a hell of a lot more affordable too. Steve Jobs actually was largely that too. That's not what led to his death. It was it was potentially tied to the work that he did around hardware and the chemicals that he inhaled as a younger adult. Oh, they're going to be talking about the watch now. That's how critical it is, right? For me. I wear it. I do. It's not something that I love. It's something that I tolerate. Just like the phone, whatever phone, whoever makes it, is not something that I love. It's something that I tolerate. Just like this camera is not something that I love. It's something that I tolerate. Something that I love, I'm glad you asked. You asked. What do you love, Chris? Gym kit. Oh, they've got a new framework here. Cool. I don't have a gym membership. We'll never get one. Okay. Apple heart rate sensor. So maybe they are talking. Now, this is where it may get interesting for me. Heart disease, man. Big deal. They're doing 3 things. They're making enhancements to the heart rate app to give you more information. So you can see the heart rate just by raising your wrist. That's useful. Then you'll also see new measurements like resting heart rate, and recovery heart rate. Okay, this is nice. That's good data. I'm more interested in hearing like saving lives. They're adding a feature. It's going to freak people out, I'm sure. Apple Watch will notify you when it when it recognizes an elevated heart rate and it doesn't appear that you're active. Like, you're sitting there and all of a sudden, oh God, I'm gonna die. Then a heart rhythm, like what would be an EKG, so it can detect arrhythmia. They're talking about how AFib is something, atrial fibrillation, can impact people's lives, but many people go undiagnosed, and it affects tens of millions. And they think Apple Watch can help. Now this is the feature. This is the feature that would sell me on a new watch, if it's hardware related. Now they've got something called the Apple Heart Study. Strength in numbers, wisdom of crowds. So it'll notify you if you have AFib. You ready? You ready to raise your heart rate? Later this year, the first phase will be later this year in the App Store. WatchOS 4. So wait, is this all software then? Available September 19th. Okay, awesome. So just use your existing Apple Watch. Benefits. Saving your life. That one gets a thumbs up from me. Until, I have a problem with my heart. And then I'll be like, turn it off. I don't want to know. That's willful ignorance on my part. Yeah, it's a good upgrade. It's a solid upgrade. That software is that's kind of what I was hoping for. In software, see what I'm saying? It's not the hardware; it's what you do in software. You understand a little more now what I'm saying? The truth that I'm laying down for y'all. The hardware existed, right? The software, the features, not yet. Now they will be available here in about a week's time. That's exciting. Let's see here. Liz is asking if I can see the YouTube chat. I'm not sure I can. Apple Watch Series 3 has cellular. If you wanted cellular built into your Apple Watch, maybe I'm someone who likes saving money. That's the thing. Let me turn this down. I don't know if I can see the super chat. Oh, there we go. Live chat. Okay, I can. I was looking at the live chat there. Font's damn small. Let's do this. Hey, YouTube, can you design the interface to be a little better on my 44-year-old eyes? So I'm able to watch the chat now. Apple Watch Series 3 and Apple Music. You can stream 40 million songs on your wrist. Which, again, this is useful if you work out or you have those AirPods, AirBuds. Someone needs to Photoshop that. Like, I've got my earbuds in, and then like two dogs, hanging out of your ear. Earbuds. They're not called AirPods, are they? Apple Music's not competitive enough for me. So they got a new dual-core processor, better performance, 70% faster. Not that I've found that it's slow by any means. I mean, I guess I don't use it, as intensely as other people do. Siri can talk now. Don't know. In relation to how much it costs and the value that I get from it, compared to like, I'm never without my phone. That's me. So having something that's autonomous like this Series 3 Apple Watch, not as compelling for a lot. I'd imagine a lot of iPhone or Apple Watch users. So they're talking about outdoor activities. I don't know if they know nerds as much as they think they do. Do they have a video game workout app? That's, like, you've been gaming for an hour. Hmm. So the display itself is the antenna for your LTE. I don't know, dude. See, I could handle maybe the new hardware without the LTE, but I guess that's not a compelling buy for me. It usually means more money. Same size as Series 2, which wasn't all that different from Series 1, conceivably. At least that I could tell by my naked eye. I apologize. They're making a standalone call on the watch. So they're just demonstrating the watch now, that you could call someone on the watch. I've done it, but I still have the second iteration of the first Apple Watch. I guess it's now Series 1. Is that right? And it's ample. I mean, it works, but in a pinch I can call someone. But inevitably I have my phone on me. I'm kind of glad they didn't go with a video option. So the person who he's calling is out in the middle of a lake on a surfboard. Kind of gimmicky. I mean, like the approach to it, but I mean, it just shows you what you can do. If you're someone who always wants to stay connected. What will it do to battery life? That's another thing to consider. I mean, you're talking about more connectivity. I mean, maybe they got some software optimization to go with it. Honestly, but in hearing a lot of this stuff, I don't know. I'm inclined. I mean, despite it being a faster processor, and I like devices that can give me a better experience. If the software can keep up with the hardware, which sometimes is not the case. I think just hearing the software improvements may be enough for me to just stay with the current Apple Watch. Because I'm not I Series 2 had nothing compelling for me. Certainly not at the price. We'll see about Series 3 if there's anything else in here that fits my use case. My use case. Everybody's use case is completely different, naturally. But like specifically because like how often do I use it? What do I use it for? What do I need it for? Right? Um, that's even Diana. She wanted the Apple Watch, the one that I got years ago. She never wears it ever for one reason or another. Right? Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get it that. I'm like, what's the point of having something you don't use it? It's like technology. Why don't I have a lot of technology around me? What's the point if you're not using it? Like my R2D2 here, right? Like, if I did not use it, what use would it be? And see if I can get this working here. I launched this on. They're talking about new watch bands and ceramics in the watch thing. Let's see if I can get this. I got it the Sphero app working on the iPad, but I'm listening to the stream. Let's see here. Oh, I may need to connect this. It's pretty simple. Except, oh come on, really? God, what a disgusting UI. Not Sphero. Sphero did a great job. I'm talking about Apple. Ugh. Yuck. Misaligned. Different font settings. Okay. Oh, it still has 18-hour battery life, that watch. 2 versions of Series 3. So they have a version without cellular at $329. But I don't know, it's just faster. Series 1 will be $249. It's a good starter watch. But the only difference then primarily is LTE, apart from a faster processor, which I don't know is worth it. Okay, so I'm scanning for my droids here. Let's see, I don't know how close I need to be. Yeah, or if this was okay, it is open. So they're launching across a variety of countries. Oh man, my R2's got a low battery. I was playing with it too much. Like if I'm not mistaken, that was really the primary difference, right? LTE is an option and a faster processor, correct? Available September 22nd. Don't know. Don't know. I was willing to jump from the first one to the second one because the first one was so incredibly slow. I just don't use a lot of apps. And I don't need waterproofing. So... But I'm talking from my experience, right? And everybody's different. Well, they're playing an ad for playing music on your wrist. Snooze. Alright, jumping back to... Sorry, I was checking Star Wars radar. Not going to apologize for it. It's just that, got people who are excited about stuff. Well, you may be excited about this Apple stuff. You may feel different. But again, I go back to that's your choice. It's how you feel. I'm not going to take that away. I'm not trying to take away from your happiness, man. I still haven't found any compelling reason to get the are they AirPods? That's what yeah, AirPods. But I don't like anything that I have to stick in my ear. I guess they're more comfortable than the ones that that have come with the Apple phones, which or the iPhones that I've never used, or I hate them. Oh, they hurt so much. I don't know. Maybe with one iteration I'll be excited about it. Pardon me. Maybe if they were black, I'd be a little more interested. Maybe. But I don't listen with headphones or headsets, even wireless Bluetooth stuff all that often. Right now I'm tethered. But that's again my pattern. Oh, they've been awarded a second Emmy for their Apple TV. For how Siri makes it so easy to search and discover. Except when it doesn't work. I'm telling you, Siri is the sex panther of the industry. 60% of the time, it works all the time. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember the exact statistic. Because, like, I have to ask it so many times, and you have to clarify spelling, and especially if you're trying to search on YouTube, right? Try to search for, like, Pirillo anything, which I'm sure you never do. But it's kind of nightmarish. It's like, that's not what I said, you piece of... Now we're at the next major inflection point, whatever that means. One that has the most stunning visuals ever. Stranger Things up on the screen. Can't wait for season 2. It's coming, right? This month? No, next month. So they're probably going to talk about 4K. I'm guessing. Apple TV 4K. Now all I need is a 4K TV. I think I have one. I think we have one 4K. Some people get excited about this. It's an iteration. I'm not sure how much 4K content I have. If any, or access to whatever 4K content. It's a nice bump. Don't get me wrong. Now I got to figure out. I think I want to say, I know that this TV, which was Google's TV, that hasn't been updated in years because Google abandons hardware products like you wouldn't believe. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm really harsh when it comes to the truth, but Google can't handle hardware. It's getting better with the software-ish, but their hardware, they abandon it almost as frequently as they announce. I mean, investing yourself in Google hardware? That's none of my business. 4K HDR. Now that I'm pretty sure the current TV that we have, one of the current TVs, I don't think it does HDR. That's another hardware, most likely hardware related experience. See, like when you go and upgrade your TV in another 5 years, this will be interesting. Maybe you've already upgraded your TV. We still have the first HD TV I've ever owned. And it still works. It's a plasma screen. They've remastered their screensavers, which again, like a little bit of applause. People still get excited over screensavers. Okay. So they're definitely moving the ball forward. I'm interested. Is it a game changer? No, not that I expect Apple to do a game changing as much as other people do, or innovation as much as people say it needs to be. Sorry, you got to remember that when I'm talking to you, there's someone who's talking in my ear. So, I mean, it looks like Apple TV in 4K. There's really, that's not a complaint. It's just, okay. Some people really get excited about this. I can see the difference for sure, but is the difference worth, chunking a TV or eliminating a TV? And more often than not, the answer is no. What do you do with your old TVs? No one else wants them. You can't even give them away. And to spend thousands on a new one when the old one's working just fine. Like I said, I got 720p a 720p set from 2005. It works. It's not broken. I'm enjoying things as much as I would on another TV. That's the thing, right? You know, it's different for me. I'm also not an audiophile either. Some people like have me listen to different things, and I can kind of hear the difference, but then I kind of feel like I'm fudging it. Like, that's definitely better. So they got the A10X in the Apple TV. You need a faster processor to handle 4K for sure. So we do, I think we do have I want to say it's a 4K TV. I guess I gotta look up the specs. See, again, it's been irrelevant at this point because I don't have any content that's worthy of 4K. But it's a benefit, not a spec. So 4K movies, same price as HD. Solid. See, inevitably, right? When you get to that point, then... And if you bought a movie in HD, you're going to automatically upgrade it to 4K HDR. No additional charge. Solid. It's a very solid ecosystem move, Apple. Very solid. Working with Netflix, 4K HDR titles, adding those to Apple TV. Later this year, Amazon Prime Video was earlier announced. But you need to, of course, have the Apple TV 4K. So what would likely happen is, like, there's nothing wrong with the older Apple TVs at all, by and large in terms of at least our use. But the one that we're using in the bedroom, if that turns out to be a 4K TV, we'll end up moving the other Apple TV to another location. So coming later. Different countries. They're adding local services. They're bringing live sports. So if you're a huge sports fan like Eddie Q is, so now you can tune into live sports. This may be exciting for you. So if you like sports and you don't like Star Wars... See, that's the shoe's on the other foot, right? I've never, ever, ever cared. I'm sure that's a compelling, feature for a lot of people. Like, the ability to watch sports live on the Apple TV. My dad, I'm sure. My dad, he's a sports fan. This is the thing, is like, Apple announces something that's exciting for everybody else, and I'm like, it's my curb your enthusiasm gif. It's still a relatively disjointed experience, and I blame content providers for that, not Apple. I think Apple has tried to move that ball forward, but I think the legacy content providers are dragging their feet. Well, what's the new news? Right, the news that Rotten Tomatoes is ruining the movie industry. Maybe crappy movies are ruining the movie industry. Is that so much of a stretch? Last movie I saw in theaters, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And before then, I think it was Rogue One. I don't see movies in theaters. I'd rather pay the same amount and watch it at home if I can on release date. And there are services that may do that at some point in the future. They're demonstrating the game capabilities on Apple TV, and it looks fantastic. I guess I'm not so much of a TV gamer. I'm a not vintage gamer, a classic retro gamer on that. But I know I've been saying this for years. I think Jedi, when it comes to video games, I think Jedi is ultimately going to pull me back in. I really do. I feel that. I feel she's going to. I certainly am going to encourage her to play video games. Can you believe that? I'm a parent and I'm saying that about my daughter. Yeah, absolutely. I want her to play all the video games on any platform. It's not like this, that, or the other thing. Like any platform, just enjoy them all, including my retro stuff, like the Atari things and the Intellivision things. Retro and new, handheld, mobile, desktop. Maybe not a PC outright because of all the problems that come with it. Console for sure. Both Xbox and PS4, and I guess the NES, or not NES anymore. What is it? The Switch? We don't have one. They're talking about the specifications of the 4K Apple TV. I mean, the graphics look amazing. What was the question? Yes, but does it play Crysis? Like, yes, but does it play Atari games? Give me a classic, man. I can play that just about anywhere anymore, and I'm happy with that. I'm very happy about that. That was always my dream. I mentioned that in the video we did in relation to the crowdfunding, the Dreamplay. What is it? The replay, the Dreamcade replay. Sorry if I didn't say that correctly. I always dreamed of just one cartridge to rule them all. Right, a cartridge with all the games on it. You just plug in and you get all the games. That was a childhood dream of mine, and now it's reality. We don't have cartridges anymore, but I collect those cartridges. I've been wanting to start the Activision cartridge collection, but I got to find good labels, and the problem is the Activision labels did not stand the test of time. I have all the text labels that I'm looking for right now, though, for Atari, the classic text labels, like the original. What was it? 42, 44, even with some variants. Yesterday, by the way, September 11th, was the 40th anniversary of the Atari 2600, upon which I played The Empire Strikes Back, the Parker Brothers game. I point over there because I actually have the box and the cartridge within the box of that Atari game. It was so bad. Like, I mean, it worked. You could play it, but man, it was so repetitive. I ended up licensing one of our Galaxar artists. Galaxar is the event for pop culture that we did in March. Is happening in October. We got over 50 vendors coming. Commissioned one of them to do the Atari, the Empire Strikes Back game in pixel art. With those little dots that they glue together. New Apple TV starts at $179, but you can get a higher capacity version for just a few bucks. So, what did it say? September 19th you can pre-order. Ships on the 22nd. Yeah, sure. I'm going to check, but if that's the case, I'll upgrade. Because again, if it's a 4K screen, and if I'm doing things on on a 4K screen, I need 4K capable hardware. Benefit, not a feature. Benefit. Next up, iPhone. Okay, this is where I start getting nervous. Where's my heart rate monitor? I get nervous because I'm really worried. I'm worried about this notch thing at the top of this next iPhone screen. The only feature that's a benefit to me that I look forward to every year in a new phone is specifically the camera. So give me good camera upgrades. My primary camera, no, like this is not a smartphone camera, but most if not all of the videos I record anymore are done on the phone. So, and usually the front-facing camera. Like I'll set up my the iPad live stream on Periscope for everybody, Star Wars Radar, of course, and then record it on this screen. Or if I'm just recording videos specifically for patrons, although I've been doing audio podcasts for them lately on chrispirillo.com, as well as creatoradvocate.com, not to leave those out. Although I know a lot of people who follow me aren't interested in my entrepreneurial business advice. that I've been recording audio more than video for them anymore. But if I'm doing a video, it's largely on this. So give me a better camera. That's it's a driving factor. It's absolutely a driving point. But I'm concerned about the interface. How do you accommodate this fugly notch? They did it well with the Apple Watch, with the LED screen. Like, if you take a screenshot, it doesn't look good, but on the screen itself with the software, it looks good. And so the experience is solid. So give me something like that. I had to take off my glasses. I was starting to get, like, really... They changed the way people communicate. Yes, you did. With emoji. Give me emoji. I'm a fan of emoji. As an English major, someone who loves writing, I love emoji. That's a software thing. We're getting some really good comments here in the live stream. Sorry I'm not regurgitating them. So, yeah. Earl's here, Ryan's here, Liz is here, Soda Water's here. Love that handle. They're talking, they're self-congratulating right now. They're talking about what Apple did. It really gets, it's kind of nails on a chalkboard for me, right? If someone else is talking about you, it's one thing. But when you're humble bragging, I'm like, okay, that was... We have huge iPhone news today. And we're going to get started right now. This is where everyone jumps to this point in the video. Although when people do that to me, I ban them from ever commenting in the channel forever. Like when you say the real content starts at, this timestamp. Like, ban. No one's ever going to see it. Or you, ever again. Okay, it looks... Why is there kind of a copper finish? Eight. Okay. Didn't look jet black to me. That looked like copper. This is a huge step forward. iPhone 8. And to teach you all about it, I want to invite Phil to the stage. He just says Phil. People know Phil enough that he's just on a first name basis. They didn't even say Schiller. Phil Schiller. He's just Phil. Punxsutawney Phil? It could have been. You don't know. iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus. Now, here's a bigger question. Will I upgrade? Will I upgrade? And if so, to which one? Is the iPhone 8 Plus going to be sufficient for me with the benefits that it may give versus the alleged new iPhone X? Comes in silver, space gray, and a new gold finish. Dude, what are you talking about gold? That ain't a gold. That's a gold finish? Looks like copper to me. Oh, aerospace grade aluminum. 7-layer process. Yeah, what if someone comes out with an 8-layer process? You can't come out with an 8-layer process. It's a 7-layer process. That's it. You can't get any better than a 7-layer process. Most durable glass on a smartphone. That remains to be seen. Although I live with cases. This is the one that Mophie sent with inductive charging. You slap a battery on it. It's great. It's very convenient. Retina HD display. 4.7-inch display. 5.5-inch display. This is what we've seen before. Color accuracy. So wait a minute. We jumped from a 7 and a 7 Plus to 8 and an 8 Plus. So we're done with the S's. Okay, so iPhone's going to have a True Tone display. Which, honestly, I guess I have... I mean, I've got it on the iPad Pro, but... Wait. 6 and 7. Was I right? I've lost track of the iPhones. There was no iPhone 7 or iPhone 7S, correct? I'm not using a 7S Plus, am I? I've totally forgotten. Oh, they've got a new chip. 6-core CPU, 64-bit design, 4.3 billion transistors, 2 performance cores, 25% faster than the A10, 4 high-efficiency cores, 70% faster than the A10. So right now I think it's 2 and 2. Am I right? In the A10? So 70% faster could be palpable. Second-gen Apple design performance controller can now improve multi-threading performance, 70%. First ever Apple design GPU. Okay, now I'm interested. I'm interested. That's interesting to me because Apple designing its own chips usually means performance gains. Whether or not that trickles down into general operating system performance, I don't know. Like, you know, like if you ran a phone side by side, a lot of people wouldn't be able to see the difference. There's a new ISP for photos, faster autofocus in low light, new pixel processing for sharpness and texture. This is their ISP. Hardware multi-band noise reduction. Okay. So, better pictures. So let's talk about the cameras. I've been doing a lot of toy photography on Star Wars Radar. That's like my entire Instagram feeds toy photography anyway. But now, like, it's like one a day. I usually do it with Toy Pops. New 12 megapixel sensor. New sensor, provides 83% more light and more power efficient at the same time. Deeper pixels, new color filter, so better color saturation, wider dynamic range of color, and lower noise. Oh, cool! Microsoft's going to be at GalaxR. So all new sensors in the 8 and the 8 Plus. So there's an f 1.8 and f 2.8 apertures in the Plus. So they're showing off pictures, which is impossible to like translate. Like, well, the picture looks great. I'm seeing video compression on my end, so it's like, huh, okay, it looks better-ish. I don't know. I have not honestly seen a lot of huge differences between. 6S was last year, right? Am I wrong? I've totally forgotten. Shows you how much I care. I mean, like, I care that it works, but. But I didn't see much of a difference even between the 7 Plus and the 6S. Like, in fact, in many cases, I like the 6S pictures more than the 7. Radically. And the gimmick of like portrait mode on the Plus, so not worth paying for. iPhone 8 takes fantastic portrait modes. Well, okay. Now with the iPhone 8 Plus, you get better. I don't know. You know what I like? A 1080p front-facing camera, 1080p at 60 frames per second. That would be a win for me. 4K on the front-facing camera, I don't know. I don't use 4K video though. Lighting. So they're talking about lighting. So this is another one of those things that leaked in a rumor. So they're making a software tweak effectively, using the new dual camera specifically within a Plus model, and this is in the iPhone 8 Plus. It's going to be beta, or it's currently in beta. It's lighting tweaks. You can pose the photo in portrait mode. So if this works half-assedly as the portrait mode, I don't know. It hasn't been that impressive. The edges on every photo I've taken with portrait mode has been they've been blurred. It's just not, even with strong contrast, not worth doing. Use portrait mode. There's a new menu to choose the light, the type of light effect that you want to shoot. They're not filters. Real-time analysis. So basically lighting differently, like contour light, stage light mono. It's neat if it works. I don't know. Maybe they've improved the camera or the ISP such that it works better on an 8 Plus than it might on a 7 Plus. It's pretty. I mean, the effects. Theoretically, this works well. But in actuality, I can't tell you how many times that I've like, oh, I'm just gonna try it again, and it's. So they do it in video. Oh no, they've jumped to the video feature here. Highest quality video capture ever in a smartphone. That doesn't surprise me. It's one of the reasons why I'm using it. Apple designed video encoder. Faster video frame rates. And higher quality video. Real-time image and motion analysis. Okay. So that can be lower file sizes. 4K 60 frames per second. That's the front-facing camera. They analyze 2 million tiles per second to predict whether or not that tile has something in it, like movement. So, like, if you're shooting 4K 60 frames per second, it's optimized for quality and compression level. That's what I'm saying. File size. That's kind of crazy. And plus, with what is their new codec? HVEC? No. A 1080p 240 frames per second. That's a bump. So if you do the slow motion stuff, it's gone from 720p set to 240 frames per second. Now that's for this camera. Now there's a third category that's going to become increasingly important, he says, and that's AR. All right, so what do you got? What do you got, Phil? What you got? Hardware and software working together. We're still talking iPhone 8. The first iPhone created for augmented reality. We'll see if we still see that. Custom tune each iPhone for augmented reality. New gyroscope and accelerometer. Accurate motion tracking. Okay. A11 Bionic chip? That's what they're calling it, the Bionic. I missed it if I talked over myself there. I apologize. ISP does real-time lighting estimation. It's crazy, man. I mean, cool. So now they're going to show off what people are doing with AR apps. The games in AR, it's pretty wild. If it plays as well on this new hardware, if it plays better, at bat for MLB, so sports thing, that looks pretty cool. You can see real-time player information on top of the game that you're watching, like in real time. That's a little crazy. Sky Guide has AR kit. Yeah, like I said, I was talking about AR back in 2009. That video's still up. So they're going to say they're going to do a demo of AR for AR, their AR kit. See, honestly, I think a lot of that implementation with the herky-jerkiness, I mean, it's not just the lack of integration between hardware and software, it's just a poor software implementation. So I'm hoping that AR kit will improve everybody's effort. So they're talking about like an MMORPG in real time in augmented reality. I mean, it looks clean. Like the experience. I wish it would be a little smoother though, right? You know, because there's enough hand jitter, like when you're holding on to something like this, especially with a bigger screen like a tablet, which I think would be amazing with AR. Not only would your arms get heavy, but just the jittery nature of it. It's an interesting way of experiencing anything. But all the more reason that you'd be inclined. I mean, I guess for AR, you know, the difference between the two, um, you know, the bigger screen you have, the you know, the more you're going to be able to see at any one time. I mean, the textures or the graphics in the game that they're showing they do look spectacular. No, wait, it's a real time strategy game. The objects or the actual objects themselves, the augmented reality objects, aren't necessarily jittering around as much as the person who's holding the phone, which does make me a bit concerned that there's not enough smoothing or stabilization going on. Oh, spatial audio. I mean that's something that this app developer surfaced. So as you get closer to an object, it is louder. It's pretty immersive. You know, I predict a lot of broken bones in the future. Like people doing this, walking around, and then they hit something, they knock into something, they fall over, they crack their knee. So are they using an iPhone 8 then? They must be. Compelling for people who like games. It'd be interesting to see Civil War battle reenactments or any kind of reenactments that way. Yeah, so those games are going to be coming down the pike soon enough. Now, let's talk about wireless, is what Phil says. Punxsutawney Phil, of course. The future is wireless. It takes courage to be wireless. Supports LTE Advanced, Bluetooth 5. So, inductive charging. This was again a rumor. Boy, that's a big ass inductive charging plate there, Phil. Why does it have to be white? I got a black device. Why not make a black plate? And could you please integrate the watch one too? So inductive charging. Yeah, and what's the speed of the charging though? Yeah, get rid of cables, man. I'm so tired of cables. Because I don't have to charge this, you know. I don't want to charge it. Oh, so they're using Qi, like QI, creating new use cases for it. Oh, they're like places that will have inductive charging plates. How secure is that though? I don't trust plugging my phone into a strange charger. Why would I? Yeah, Mofi's in. Yeah. I like Mofi's. I've been solid with Mofi. This is my primary computer, so. Oh yeah, so they're really talking up the iPhone 8. Let's hear about the next thing that everyone's wanting to hear about. So now they're talking about configs. iPhone 8 is going to start at 64 or be 256. $699. I mean, it's a solid update. I wouldn't say that it's like. That's an iPhone 8. $799 starting at iPhone 8 Plus. You can pre order September 15th. Available on September 22nd. And you can upgrade to iOS 11 on the 19th. So this week. That is iPhone 8. I'd like to turn it back to Tim. Huge step forward, Tim. What are you talking about? How's that a huge step forward? But we're not stopping there. One more thing. I'm guessing this is the iPhone that's been rumored forever. Yeah, this is when we're gonna see about. This is what we're gonna see about the new iPhone here. The new. And when I say iPhone 8 being a new iPhone, if this is the next one, the future of the smartphone is what they say. Here we go. So is it gonna be iPhone 10 or iPhone X? At which point you wonder what would happen with 9. Was it OS 10 or OS? It was OS 10, but now it's Mac OS. So they're about to reveal it. So we'll see here. Getting our first official look at the next gen of iPhone devices. iPhone 8 seems like it's ample. It's a question of what will this other iPhone have to offer above and beyond that. I know if it does have better stuff in it, how much better? What kind of departure would we have seen specifically from the current series of iPhones? Looks sleek, clean. I mean, it's an iPhone. I'm not. Oh, there's that fugly notch. Everyone else is applauding. iPhone X. That's what it's called. Okay, I'm fine with the name. That notch. iPhone 10. Sorry, great. iPhone 10. Biggest leap forward with that notch. Like a stubby dick. It's all screen. You sure about that, Phil? Because you got that notch there at the top. You're lying. Display fits edge to edge, top to bottom. Rounded corners. Glass on the front and the back. Yeah, it always looks sleek, but wow. That notch is just. But what else would you call it? Like. iPhone 10 has a new display called Super Retina display because things just weren't sharp enough before. Ugh! Oh god, that looks horrible! Look at the spacing of those icons! Am I seeing that right? That's ghastly! 458 pixels per inch. Are you serious? So it's OLED, which is fine. I like my OLED screen on the watch. No backlight, basically. So they're effectively going to pack into the screen great contrast, high resolution, thinness with OLED, but adding other benefits like color accuracy and brightness. Supports HDR in both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Fantastic ratio. But that notch. More fluid experience? Talk to me, Phil. Yeah, of course, there's no button, but now it's going to be face recognition. But what if you don't? I have a question. I'd imagine they would address this. But what if you're looking at it, but you don't want to unlock it? When you want to go to the home screen, you swipe up from the bottom, and you're home. God, the padding on that is just disgusting. It's so crammed. Yeah, but look at the incongruent spacing, dude. Phil, that's too jammed. See, when it's black up across the top, it's fine. But like when the notch stands out, it's horrific. There's no other word. And he's showing general platform navigation. So the side button is going to be one of your invoking options. So you unlock with your face. It's I don't know if I necessarily missed the button. The button, as long as I could use it and just got used to using it, I'd be fine with it. But it's the question of that notch. Is any one of you out there actually fascinated by it? You think that's good? And then they jam those icons. The battery looks gigantic, and they're just squish them together. Yeah, they're talking about Face ID being the recognizer instead of your fingerprint. Yeah, but look, like they got the signal bars and the strength and everything. They're just crammed in together. Incongruent. I would just assume, but it's Apple. Why not just make it go all the way across, dude? It's got an infrared camera now, flood illuminator, dot projector, etc. But it isn't. You've got that flanking. So basically, they're creating a mathematical model of your face. I don't know, dude. That that bar, the dick bar. What would you call that notch at the top? The dick bar. What is that? Okay, that's not. It's not. Let me on the surface. It's not compelling enough for me outright. Not compelling. Show. What are the benefits? Because man, that is just. I thought Apple was supposed to be good with design. I gotta tweet that. That is just wow. That's disgusting. See, when that top area is just blackened out, it's fine. But when it isn't, it's just ugh. So what else have they improved in this X or 10 model? So it could you can't spoof it is what they're saying with this Face ID. Like with masks or photos. It's not just a gimmick. Which is fine. If it works, cool. On-device processing requires user attention to unlock. So you have to be looking at the phone in order for it to unlock. So they're talking about security. Data has been 1 in 50,000 for Touch ID. Like, in terms of a failure. So Face ID will be 1 in a million. See, that's impressive. That's a nice benefit. Not that Touch ID has ever been an issue. Like, for a random person to no one can unlock the phone with their face, effectively. Like an identical twin or an evil twin, as they posted. Uh, So hold it near the terminal to pay. But like, what if you want to confirm? Like, that's what I'm saying. But that top bar looks so bad. The vertical line at the bottom doesn't bother me, but so, but like, what if I'm on a page and it says buy this, and then I'm looking, I'm like, no, I don't want to buy it, and then it buys it, right? I mean, where's the authentication beyond just like look? I mean, you gotta look at the screen, because like you put your thumb, your print on the sensor, and then it does it. But that top bar is so effing disgusting. Okay. Animated emojis controlling with your face. That looks cool. A little gimmicky, but I'm sure kids will love it. Maybe adults. Wow. These animated okay, it's gimmicky. It's very gimmicky, but that's pretty damn cool. Turn yourself into a cartoon, basically talk, and then it mirrors all your facial expressions. I have facial expressions. And they're just talking about iPhone 10. See, that top bar, man, it just looks so bad. Looking at it and swiping up. Your passcode is required to enable Face ID. There you go, Craig. Yeah, and get right in. He says it like it was smooth as silk, but the demo didn't work with his face. But that top area, dude. So you swipe up to close out an app to get to the home screen. But that top area is so nasty ass. And it's obvious. It just jumps out at you. Especially when you're looking at a photo. It's a dick bar. But then you got that notch. What the hell are they smoking? But it doesn't. You've got a notch. That looks horrific. So now you can flip between apps with a swipe. That is convenient. Swipe down from your status indicators. Can you turn off status indicators? Cause that looks horrible, dude. God, even when you can't see that junk. Even when you can't see it. Like, you're looking at a video and you got this freaking notch. What are they saying about this? I can't be the only one who's just disgusted, appalled. God, it's bad enough they've slopped with the software. Now they're slopping with the hardware, too. So AR kit has face tracking. This is where I get worried, because if it's a better AR experience... the tracking's better because of the IR. Alright, the Animoji here. I don't mind the curved nature of the UI around the edges, but that top bar area, man. So you can make a sticker instantaneously. Wow, dude, he's talking, and he's talking as the monkey, and it's in real time. That is crazy. Like, you know how... Think about how... That's amazing. The Animoji is amazing. That is insane. Like, animated movies have been done like this, like, but not anywhere near, like, real-time tracking on a consumer-grade device. That is spectacular. That software is spectacular. An animated poo. It's gimmicky, but man, that's... You can record messages. And then it plays it back in real... God, that is crazy. Can you... Okay, that video. Can you export it? Oh, that's crazy. It's so crazy, it made me forget about that crappy dick bar at the top of the iPhone's screen. Oh, Tim gets it. He comes back with an alien? Hang on. That's pretty cool. See, it's the small things. You didn't think I'd get excited. That was kind of exciting there. Don't know if it'd be worth a price justification just for that, but... Yeah, I don't know. Is it any faster than the iPhone 8? Because right now, my bets are on the 8. Right now. Let's see here. Now they're talking about the cameras. 10 has dual cameras. Faster sensor. New color filter, deeper pixels. Just like iPhone 8 is what he said. Deeper pixels. F1.8 aperture on wide angle. And a faster f2.4 on telephoto. So how's that compared to the 8, though? I gotta look that up. The 8 Plus, I should say. Dual optical image stabilization. Okay, so that's an advantage. Better quad LED True Tone flash. 2x better uniformity of light. We're talking about the iPhone 10. But how does it compare to the 8? That's the thing. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I'm sure they're great photos, but like, how is it going to make everything better? Is it? Does it? Advanced shutter lag. So it does have better optical image stabilization over the 8. It says better video stabilization as well. It says iPhone 10, like their new portrait mode features. So the question is how well does it? The front facing camera has it, but does that rear facing camera have that support? Like in terms of being able to better detect objects, so it's better tuned for AR applications. Okay. See, I think it's spec'd out the same way, like in terms of the processor. Yeah, the front side camera. I use that frequently enough, not for selfies necessarily, video. True depth camera on the front facing. So you can take portrait mode photos with selfies now. And portrait lighting. In real time too. That's only the selfie camera with those effects are only on the 10, not the 8. I just don't like how it fudges the details. Still, yeah, powered by the A11 Bionic. So it's the same thing. It's the same processor effectively. You know, so like speed wise, it's not going to perform any better. Cameras are going to get a slight nudge. Don't know if it's that much better though. That much. Or certainly worth a price discrepancy, depending on the price discrepancy. $100 maybe. 200. So battery life. They didn't even talk about battery life on the 8. It says the 10 will last 2 more hours than the iPhone 7. That is likely in relation to the OLED screen. Wireless, just like iPhone 8. 10 also has inductive charging. But that bar, So they're giving a sneak peek for an idea, something that's not going to launch, but they got multiple devices charging, multiple Apple devices, of course. That's what I'm saying. Give us a plate where you can just charge everything all at once. That's what I need. So they've got a charging pad, effectively. A mat. Series 3 Apple Watch, so it has to be a Series 3 Apple Watch in order to do that. AirPods with a wireless charging case on it, so you can get your 3 products that can wirelessly charge on the plate. Or mat, or whatever they're going to call it. That's a good thing. The fact that it's white, though, why is everything gotta be white? Not possible with current standards, but they're going to move the ball forward. They're calling it AirPower. I like it. I mean, I'd probably adopt it if only because I have that the Apple Watch charger is just kind of like it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Next year is when they're gonna reveal that, which means don't rush out and upgrade anything outright. Uh, uh, they created a new video for it. Okay, what? Okay, what, I almost want to get on Twitter. What are people thinking about this? I really want to know. Uh they're probably just talking about the specs. I guarantee it. Most people just don't talk about anything that's relevant. Like what is this? The bar at the top. No, everyone's just rolling through the general announcements. I'm not seeing anybody saying anything about it. There's really no name for this damn notch. Hang on, is it like I iPhone? What would you call it? The notch. Yeah, it looks like Marquez Brownlee agrees with me. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, see, yeah, I think I'll just upgrade my iPhone 6s with a higher storage iPhone 7 than an iPhone 8 or X. That black notch at the top. Yeah, people are not liking it. A lot of people. Wow, a lot of people are not happy with the notch. Yeah, I'm scrolling through the Twitter comments here. Yeah, on iPhone X, I hate the notch. Very distracting. Very distracting. I can't describe how much I hate this. Yeah, face value, iPhone 10 is basically iPhone 8 with a weird notch, Super Retina, and no bezels. That's true. Yeah, top notch on the iPhone 10 isn't awful until you put it in landscape mode. Can't believe they don't adjust screen content to account for it. Never mind, iPhone 8 sales are going to be out the roof because the notch is so fucking bad. That's not me. That's I'm just quoting someone. Stream kind of paused or went away. Still rolling? It says it's live. Apple doesn't like me. Did everybody else just lose the stream? Hit refresh here. It was in the middle of the commercial. Oh, yeah, I guess I lost it there. So the consensus seems to be what's up with the notch? These demo photos from iPhone 10 should show the notch too. That's right. Yeah, that ugly notch on the top of the iPhone 10. Steve Jobs never would have let that happen. Priced it, and they're going to charge you more for it. You can pre-order on October 27th. I'm honestly, I'm feeling I'm going to skip that one, dude. That notch is just junk. The notch is hideous. Ugh. This is just in the past few minutes, that notch, and there's no other... Yeah, I'm done. I think it'll be an 8+ for me. I sorry, we're gonna be winding down anyway, but the stream keeps crapping out on me. I skate to where the puck is gonna be, not where it has been. This notch is gonna be the iPhone 10's undoing. I'm telling you, dude. Ugh. And the stream keeps crapping out on me. Hopefully I'm not crapping out. Apart from the iPhone 10 phoned it in, that notch is phoning it in. Design team around the iPhone 10 notch is phoning it in. Literally. Hashtag Apple event. If it's the future, you can have the future. I'll stick with the past. If the iPhone 10 top notch is the future, I'll stick with the past for now. Hashtag. You're hearing me tweet in real time. Apple event. They're playing a commercial anyway. I think they're about done. If the iPhone 10 notch is the future, I'll stick with the past for now. Ugh. Yikes. Ugh. And I'm searching just for notch. I mean, there's some tweets coming in, man. iPhone 10 notch is the new camera bump. It's way worse than the camera bump. Ugh. It's god awful. That, honestly, that's seriously, it's horrible, dude. I can't imagine any designer seeing that and being impressed. Oh, it's so disgusting. It's horrible. The iPhone 10 display notch is the new camera bump. Yep, exactly. And seriously, the stream, I can reload the page. It's just the stream is crapping out. Well, this kind of makes it easier for my decision. I'm going back to Star Wars, folks. See you on Star Wars Radar. Follow Star Wars Radar on Twitter. Follow Star Wars Radar on YouTube. Star Wars Radar on Facebook. We actually have a Facebook group you can join if you're a Star Wars fan. We're on all the social platforms. If I could come up with a good Star Wars meme for that notch bar, or whatever the hell they're calling it, there's no way I'm getting that. It would annoy the shit. The camera bump never annoyed me. Never annoyed me. Seriously, the video keeps... I think I'm done with the video. I think that's got to be it, right? Let me check YouTube. Am I the only one that's having problems with this video here? Not to mention this damn... Hang on. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep Jedi from playing with those animated emoji for now, because there's no way I'm spending the money on that for that. No way. This is horrible. Yeah, even Earl's with me on this one, although, you know, he kind of plays like me, you know, he just looks for what's good for him. Yeah, Earl says, I think Steve would be hurling right now if you saw the iPhone 10. Oh, just count me in on... This is my reaction to the notch. In fact, I'm just going to... What I'm going to do after this is all wrapped up, I'm going to do a video of my reaction to the iPhone 10 notch. And it's just going to be silence for like a minute. Like, I'm gonna do that after we wrap up, so you can tune into that one, because that's what it boils down to for me. Like, how? Who thought this was a good idea? Now maybe will you start listening to me when I tell you that Apple doesn't know what they're doing with design? Is it not clear enough with you? This notch is it's the perfect culmination point of every problem they've had with iOS. They don't care. This is a slap in the face, man. I'm angry because I do care, and I'm angry because that's not Steve. That's not what Steve would do. I want to say it. There's no way in hell Steve would have made this fly. Ain't no way in hell. No way. No way. I refuse to believe it. And now the event seems that it's possibly wrapped, but it was crapping out on me anyway. So I'm going to end it anyway. I don't care if they go on for another hour talking about other stuff. You'll have to go somewhere else. But I'm going to do a reaction video right now. You can join me if you want. I won't do it live, but this video will be public. Now everybody knows my reaction. What I'm saying, that notch. They don't care about iOS. They don't care. That's indicative of the lack of quality control and the lack of attention to design and finer details. What the I used to look forward to these events. I used to get excited. Had problems sleeping. Are they making fun of us? Are they saying we can just throw crap out there and people will buy it anyway? I'm sure people will, because it's the it thing. I'm not feeling it. Barely feeling the iPhone 8. This is how I feel about iOS. This is how I felt about... If you feel about that notch, if you feel strongly about that notch, that's how I've felt about iOS since iOS 7. You live with it for a few years and see how angry you get. And see how disenfranchised you become. You know, I love Star Wars. And there's a reason I love Star Wars. It just doesn't disappoint. It doesn't disappoint me. It knows what it is. You got me a present? You got some presents for me? Jedi's saying that. What'd you get? Well, you can't. Hang on. You can't say that and then not bring it. Well, I can't come down. I'm doing a live stream. Hun? Apparently I have gifts. Presents. What do you mean? I heard a crumple bang. Uh-oh. What? It dropped? Well, what is it? As far as I know, this is going to be anticlimactic. It's going to be like something like bananas. All right. I'm out. I'm going to record a reaction video to the notch. It's going to be a minute long. And it's going to be me just doing this. The whole... just like... Okay. I love you. I appreciate you. If you do want to become a patron, I am going to do my best to continue that sharing tech advice and perspectives to the patrons on chrispirillo.com. Also have creatoradvocate.com for more professional, businessy types of advice, including potentially using technology for your business and how you can better do it. Geekfamilyfun.com still rolling forward, and I've mentioned Star Wars Radar throughout. So I was so disgusted by the notch, I didn't even get around to opening my Thrawn. And it was a plan. I wanted to play with my Thrawn. This doesn't disappoint. This will never disappoint. I'm talking about this figure. This is a thing of beauty. Imagine if this figure had a notch in the top of its head, man. Yes? You know what someone needs to do? They need to do a photo filter, where the top of your head, the new selfies on the iPhone camera, have a little notch at the top of your... You see what I'm saying? They just kind of Photoshop someone's head taken with the iPhone 10 camera. Trust me, dude. This is not going to play well. That's my feeling. Ain't playing well with me. Hopefully you had fun. As much fun as I did. Trudging through this set of announcements, only to be disgusted by the notch. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. He thought I was going to say, may the force be with you. Well, I just did. Okay, I said,